How does it work and why does it work? Two really important questions. You do need to know that you're in a safe pair of hands when you are working on this. And I think it's important to know that there's a huge amount of research that's gone into Let's Fly. There's a lot of experience. I'm passionate about reading and about helping children learn to read. And it's been my job for a long time. And I also know what it's like to be a mum. Who, with struggling readers who literally absolutely hated reading at one stage. Luckily, they all love reading and they're really good readers now. But it did take time, and it wasn't an easy process. But Let's Fly is really based on fundamental knowledge about the reading brain, about reading challenges, about some of the cognitive challenges such as phonological awareness, phonological processing, working memory that impact that very, very important skill, learning to read. And so it's done in a way that really does firstly cement the underlying foundational skills, which are phonological skills, that really underpin all literacy skills. And there's a lot of time that goes into understanding sounds, isolating them, being able to blend them, manipulate them, and really focus on the sounds first before you even learn a letter pattern. Really important. Every single letter pattern is learned at a sound level first. We then learn to link those sounds to little symbols, because symbols don't really mean anything to a lot of people. And you need to sort of see that that symbol goes in that orientation. And some symbol teams make different sounds. And even some symbol teams make a few sounds. They have a few sounds attached to them. So we learn this in a really slow, methodical way. All words are learned first at that sound level, and we start with little 2-letter words first, then we move to 3-letter words, and it gets a little bit bigger, going to multi-syllable words. And you learn the word, you practice that word in a little silly sentence. Silly sentences are important because you can't guess what a word is, you've got to decode it, and the decoding is really important, able to make sure that that word gets stored in your long-term memory. From silly sentences, we go to little poems. Again, really important with the rhythm and rhyming. So being able to learn other little skills that you don't necessarily know you're learning. And through the poems, we start to do some comprehension strategies too, and just helping a little bit with some of the techniques to help you understand what you're reading and to be able to verbalize that understanding too. There's a really simple syllable division technique in Let's Fly, and we call it the big word trick, purely because most of the kids I've worked with over the years can never remember or even say that word, syllable division, because, well, it's such a tongue teaser. See, I also struggle with that too. But it's a really simple way of dividing up long words so that they don't look scary and you can tackle them easily. And that sort of threads through the whole program, sorry. We also learn the top 200 high frequency or sight words. Those are the words that are found in 65% of everything we read. So you can imagine if you can read those really quickly and fluently, your reading is so much easier. So it's a really lovely little confidence booster. And then there are other little visual processing exercises in Let's Fly. It's not obviously its focus, but just making sure that the eyes are tracking from left to right. You're making sure that the letter orientation is that orientation, that's the way it goes. You're spotting letter patterns in words. All words are learnt firstly in the Open Dyslexic font. Not all children need that font, but it is a really lovely way to introduce words. It's a really good font for eyes to be able to focus on the words. And of course, there is tons of repetition. So you learn something, practice it, learn something new, practice the old thing. And we practice them in lots of lovely little games and word searches, just to make sure that it's always engaging, it's always interactive, and you are really consolidating the sounds, the letters, the words into your long-term memory so that you can read those words automatically. You don't need to decode them anymore. You see a word, you know what it is, and you can just read it confidently. And that then, of course, gives your brain the space to actually enjoy the stories.